How's it going, guys? Vaibhav here, and the Samsung Galaxy Z Fold2 is finally here. Now, I've had a chance to use it for just about an hour or so, and if you do want to check out my first impressions, go over to the video linked above using that card and check it out over on GN Tech, because I do go over it in depth. In today's video, or in this video rather, I want to talk about why the Galaxy Z Fold2 makes more sense as a purchase of a flagship device than maybe the Galaxy Note 20 Ultra, perhaps in the UAE, or especially in regions that get the Exynos variant of the Galaxy Note 20 Ultra, plus a lot more of how budget smartphones nowadays are starting to become very familiar, very similar to what flagship smartphones offer. So, for example, the Google Pixel 4a can do photography really well, and it's a $350 to $400 smartphone. So why would you pay the extra? Well, some would argue you get a bigger screen, you get a better screen, you get more performance, and all of those are valid reasons for a flagship smartphone. But even so, to me, a flagship smartphone may be priced at around $1,000 or $1,299 like the Galaxy Note 20 Ultra. I think it's a bit too much, and considering the fact that, a foldable smartphone like the Galaxy Z Fold 2 is going to sell for maybe $1,800 or $1,899, somewhere around those price tags. If you have the money to spend on a flagship smartphone like the Note 20 Ultra, why not just go for the Galaxy Z Fold 2? Because from my usage that I've had for the couple of hours that I've used the phone, it does feel like a very, very big upgrade. On the front, you get a bigger 6.2-inch display. On the inside, you get a 7.6-inch display, which is also bigger. It has a 120Hz refresh rate. It's also got a very small notch this time, so you don't get that big notch off to the side of the phone, so that's really good. And you can actually use it one-handed or without actually opening it because of that bigger display up on the front. Now, before we get into how it compares with the Note 20 Ultra, if you do want to check out the full review of the Note 20 Ultra, go check it out using the link down below. I've put it up over on GN Tech. It's a fully written review. You can check out my impressions, how it held up in terms of battery life, the photos it took, camera comparisons, all of that stuff. Go check it out. But let's get to the Z Fold now. The Z Fold to me seems like the phone that you should buy if you have the money to spend on a flagship smartphone, especially in the UAE, because it comes with Qualcomm's Snapdragon 865 Plus chipset, and it's got this amazing design. And to me, it doesn't feel like a very, very, fragile phone. That's something that the original Galaxy Fold felt to me, because the hinge wasn't as sturdy. But this one, when you open it up, you get that solidity, and you feel like you're holding something that's really premium in the hand. Imagine the Galaxy Note 20 Ultra, but two of them, but slightly smaller at the same time, if that makes sense. So if you can see it on screen, most of the stuff remains the same from the original Galaxy Fold. One of the changes they've done, which I really like, is the fingerprint scanner. So the fingerprint scanner was originally separate to the power button. This time they've embedded it in the power button, so that's pretty cool. You of course get that mystic bronze finish. As I said, 865 plus processor, 12 gigabytes of RAM, up to 256 gigabytes of UFS 3.1 storage. So all of that is absolutely incredible for a phone like this. Plus you get the spectacular, portability of carrying a phone as well as carrying a tablet around. So as I mentioned, 7.6-inch display on the inside, 120 Hertz. So all of that is pretty premium stuff. You also get a much more sturdy hinge. So this time you can actually prop up the phone between 75 to 115 degrees. So sort of like a laptop. And once again, I've demoed all of these features over on the GN Tech video. So if you want to check those out in person, see how they work, definitely check them out. Now, one thing that I will say is the crease on the inside is still visible, so that's something that's not up to the mark when you compare it to a flagship smartphone like the Note 20 Ultra. But definitely when you use the screen in person, the difference in screen technology isn't much. You can still tell that this panel is slightly inferior to this one, but I think it'll only get better with time. And to be honest, this is good enough for a flagship smartphone just because it brings you that extra versatility of using it as a tablet. Plus the software that Samsung's done to the Galaxy Fold 2. You know, things like multiple applications open simultaneously, having the phone switch between different modes within a certain application. All of that is tailored really well, and it just makes for a really premium experience. And I think this is sort of the experience we craved when we talked about flagship smartphones maybe 5 years ago. So when the likes of the Galaxy S6 or the S7, when competition wasn't as fierce as it is now, I think going for a Galaxy S6 or a Galaxy S7 was justifiable because you got a huge display, you got a big improvement in display, you got a big improvement in camera performance. But these days, you compare these phones to the likes of maybe a $600 or a $700 smartphone, and the differences are very minuscule. And that's why I'm saying if you're in the market for a flagship smartphone and you want the absolute cream of the crop, I think the Galaxy Z Fold 2 is your smartphone, especially the fact that they've done all of these improvements. Granted, you won't get IP68 certification, but they have worked on bringing stereo speakers into the mix, and I can only see this phone being the smartphone of the year for 2020 because I don't think the next iPhones hold that much value when it comes to design language, and this phone, when you hold it in the hand, just feels absolutely incredible. In fact, I have a video clip of the phone that I'm going to show you on video so you guys can see how the phone actually looks. So there it is, 6.2 inches on the outside when you open it, a 7.6 inch panel. So it's absolutely gorgeous. Do check out the GN Tech impressions video that I have done. Once again, I think it'll probably be the most powerful phone on the market right now with the 865 Plus, especially in the UAE. In terms of pricing, I'm not sure as I am pre-recording this video, but expect this one to be around the 7,000 dirham price tag in the UAE, which I know is a lot of money, but at the same time, the technology and the way this phone performs is absolutely incredible. Now, as far as the camera goes, that is something that might be way more inferior to the Galaxy Note 20 Ultra. So this one's got a 108 megapixel sensor on the back. This one, on the other hand, only has a 12 megapixel primary sensor. So you're going to be seeing differences here. This, I think, is borrowed directly from the Galaxy Note 10 Plus series, if I'm not mistaken. And this, of course, has the bells and whistles of 50x zoom, all of that. But one of the cool features on this phone that perhaps this phone doesn't have is auto-focusing, where you can prop this phone up on a table and you don't really need anything else to, prop it up. It does it by itself, but it can frame the people inside the video automatically, and that's something that was really cool to see in action. And it uses all of the cameras really well, especially the primary lenses, all 12 megapixels. So yeah, I think the Galaxy Z Fold 2, apart from that convoluted name, is probably the best smartphone you can buy right now if you can afford it. So that's about it for this one. If you are in the market for a Galaxy Z Fold 2 or a Galaxy Note 20 Ultra, do check those out using my affiliate links down below. And thanks for watching. This was Vaibhav, and I'll see you in the next one. Adios.